Hi everyone and welcome back to another Incubus tutorial, and today we're talking about the tremendous track that is, of course, Nebula. Now if you have a DOD Gonkulator, your life is very easy for the intro and verse parts to this song, as all you have to do is have quite a hefty distortion going on, ideally be on your bridge humbucker, and simply turn the pedal on and off as you need. So that high-pitched whine you can hear in the track is just the Gonkulator being turned on and off in time with the music. So make sure your left hand is muting the strings, otherwise it will sound quite messy, and you just want the clear whine of the pedal to come through. So it sounds like this. Now if you don't have a Gonkulator, never fear, I have you covered. The Gonkulator is pitched to a B flat note, so what we can do instead is play down at the 3rd fret of the G string and add some fast MXR phase 90 instead. I have the dial turned up to about 330 for this. So this is what Mike does in the live version on the Look Alive DVD, and it sounds like this. Now lastly, if you don't have a phase 90 but have a Boss PH2 super phaser, you could get the same effect with quite a fast rate like this. All of these pedal settings will be in the description down below too. So whichever method you are using for the intro and the verse, after you've gone round a number of times, we go into this pre-chorus riff. Here we play an A power chord to an E flat power chord at the 6th fret, and we're just playing these back and forth. The E flat utilises Mike's favourite way to play power chords in this era of Incubus, with the 5th of the chord in the bass, so your first finger plays the low E and the A string at the 6th fret. The strum pattern slowly is like this. To end this whole riff and to lead us into the chorus, we go quickly from the E flat to the A and then let the E flat ring out. The first part of the chorus utilises the Boss PH2 super phaser on quite a fast rate, so if you wish, you could kick that on while the E flat chord is ringing out, and that would sound like this. Now by doing that, that will help lead us into the chorus, which sounds like this. Now this is quite tricky. Here we have a fast alternate picked 8-note riff that starts on the 9th fret of the D string with our 1st finger and then goes to the 11th fret G string with our 3rd finger. From here we step back to the 9th fret on the G string with our 1st finger before coming down to the 12th fret of the D string with our little finger. So those first 4 notes are like this. We then play at the 9th fret G string again with our 1st finger and then back to the 12th fret D string with our little finger before finally playing the 11th fret the D string with our 3rd finger and finishing back on the 12th fret D string with our little finger. So those last 4 notes are like this. Then all together we have this. We cycle this around 3 times before turning the distortion back on and playing a G power chord at the 3rd fret, and then we come up to an A power chord at the 2nd fret. We play the chord first and then add some palm muted chugs afterwards. So it sounds like this. Now let's put these 2 parts together without any of the effects on and slowly through. And now let's play that whole thing again, but this time with the effects on. Then we cycle this whole thing round twice before playing this. This is simply a palm muted D power chord, again with the fifth of the chord in the bass. Let me play it through slowly so you can see the strum pattern. When I'm playing the open B and E strings, I'm adding the Gonkulator too, but you don't have to do this. You could just play them open if you don't have that effect. After this, you play through another verse, another pre-chorus, and then another chorus, and we end the chorus with that big palm muted D power chord riff that we just played before we go into the bridge. Now the chorus riff alone is pretty difficult in this song, but the bridge is the hardest part of the whole song in my opinion. Let me play it through as best as I can. Quickly talking about the effects, I've seen Mike play this with no effects, just clean to distortion in the Science days, to using his other PH2 on a slow rate, so that would be mode 2, with distortion for the first part and then turn the phaser off for the second part, which is how I just played it through. Or the third option again, from the Look Alive DVD, where he uses a cleanish sound and the phase 90 for the first part, and then keeps it on with the distorted part for the second time round. So it's entirely up to you how you approach this part. On the recording, it sounds a lot of different things are happening at once, really. So now let's break this down. So we start the same way as the chorus riff, but instead of 3 times round, we play it 4 times round before adding some distortion and playing a B octave shape with your first finger on the 9th fret of the D string and your little finger on the 12th fret of the B string. The G string in between is muted, and we let this ring out for nearly a whole bar before striking it quickly again. So far we have this. Next we have another 8-note phrase, and we start on the 9th fret of the D string with our first finger, but then we jump up to the 11th fret on the B string with our third finger. We come down to the 10th fret, the D string, with our second finger, and we finish the first 4 notes on the 9th fret of the G string with our first finger. So far we have this. Super dissonant, it's really cool. Then we play the 9th fret B string with our first finger, and then up to the 12th fret on the high E with our little finger, back to the 9th fret B string with our first finger, and finally finish on the 10th fret of the G string with our second finger. So those last 4 notes are like this. And then all together we have... Now we cycle this whole thing around 3 times, and on the 4th time round, instead of playing the first part again, so the intro and verse riff, we go straight into the B octave at the 9th and the 12th fret, and we play this instead. So for this next part, we keep our first and little fingers in the same spot, so on the 9th and the 12th fret, and add our third finger to the 11th fret G string and let this ring out. Then we remove our third finger and bar with our first finger on the 9th fret D and G strings and let that ring out. And then finally we end with our third finger on the 9th fret D string and our first finger barring across the 7th fret G and B strings. And we let that ring out. So let me play that through one more time. So from the B octave shape. Then after the bridge, we play the end part of the chorus again, so the big D power chord riff, but instead of it all being palm muted, we play this instead. We then go into the pre-chorus riff again and play through the chorus one last time. And then to finish the entire song, we play a big B power chord at the 2nd fret and let it ring out. So, like this. And there we have it, my friends. Now you know how to play the wonderfully chaotic song that is Nebula. The tab for this track and many other Incubus songs are on my Patreon page. The link is in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, you may also like the one that is on screen now. Thank you so much for watching.